Yo, what's going on, gamers, and welcome to the first episode of Tied the Leader, a podcast dedicated to exploring the history of Halo and the people in it. My name is Makowski. Joined alongside me is my duo on each show, Eli the Ninja. Eli, welcome to the stream.
I feel like we've been talking about doing this forever, and we're just now finally getting around to doing it. We're like, it would be dope if we just did a podcast and had all the best people in Halo come on it. So I'm excited that we're finally actually doing it.
And not just the typical Halo pro, a legend in the scene, 20 years of Halo history behind him, BESTMAN. Welcome to the first episode of Tied the Leader. How's it going, brother?
It's going great. I'm glad to be on. It kind of feels like a conversation that, we probably have like at every event. Now we can just actually talk about it on camera. Like everybody, I was a Christmas noob, but I played Halo, every now and then at a friend's house. I never had an Xbox. I heard about Halo 2 from a friend. I'm like, that's what I wanted for Christmas. Like my friends were playing it. Everybody was playing it that played video games back then was playing Halo 2. And so it was a little bit late. I didn't get it on release date or anything. And casually just played, big team, whatever, Team Slayer, all the casual stuff. And I honestly can't remember how I got into competitive. It was probably just like everyone else. You just kind of stumble upon it.
How did you guys ultimately become teammates?
I don't really remember. Do you?
I was hoping you knew, because like straight up, I couldn't really. It was probably through free for all lobbies, I would assume, like sometime in 05, I would guess. Maybe we just ended up in the same FFA lobby. I feel like you and I had like the same sense of humor. Like we're just like sarcastic and like self-deprecating, but also like confident. I don't know. We had like a pretty similar personality type, so we hit it off pretty quick.
We made that Eli 8-ball Spaniard team, and we were actually a really, really good team. Like online, especially. Like we didn't play like Carbon straight FB or Carbon and FB and maybe a couple of the other pro teams, but I think we played straight Rippin' a lot. Like they were one of the few teams that would actually scrim us out, and then everyone else we would just beat. Like we wouldn't lose scrims. We had a good placing. We got top 12 at Charlotte. We only lost to FB and
Carbon, I think.
Carbon, yeah. So because Carbon lost early.
Yeah, nice bracket.
So we had really good placing in that tournament, and ultimately we just decided to drop Spaniard, which was a mistake. This was like the turning point when I looked back and reflected on team changes. That if you just drop your weakest player statistically, you're not going to get better if you pick up someone who's, a Slayer or a completely different role. Like this was like the first time where it's like, oh shit, like Spaniard may have not been the most individually skilled player, but he was just like the definition of a team player and objective player. And when you had like me, 8-ball, and Eli, like just going around killing everything, especially Eli and 8-ball, like I was more like a support guy back in the day. I mean, pretty much my whole career I was, but you could see our next place in got top 32, and then we decided once we decided to pick up Smoltz and Brad, then we actually became the online God Squad. Like I don't think we didn't lose to anybody. Like if we played a pro team, we wouldn't lose them. They would stop scrimming us.
Yeah, we beat Final Boss. We beat Straight like multiple times.
Yeah, Straight was our practice noobs for sure.
Wow.
I think I had finished my match or whatever, and I was just walking around. And I was trying to, I'm not that tall. I was trying to look over people's shoulder to see what's going on in this game. And I knew it was SnakeBite's team. And I thought, I saw him early on being like a potential superstar because he was slaying out in online scrims and stuff. And I just asked a random person in the crowd, I said, who's playing here? And this woman turns around. She goes, that's my son. He's SnakeBite.
Yeah, I remember his mom.
Yeah, his mom was like, he's going to be the best player in the world one day. And I'm like, yeah, okay, lady. But she was right, bro. I mean, there's something to that, right?
Kind of crazy because you did get all the way to the grand finals of a national championship, right? And this was when Hysteria's Xbox lagged out, didn't it? Like, wasn't this part of this, or was this the tournament before?
Yeah, so this was it. So but basically 09 was the start of like actually placing well, doing well. After this, I'd get on Classic, and we got fourth, and it was a pretty good fourth too. Like all our series are really competitive. We upset Instinct, I think, for top 4.
Oh wow, yeah. That's crazy. That's right. You took down Walshy. That was when they started to make team changes. I think right after for Instinct.
We lost the Final Boss. I remember that series. It was game 4, all close games, and I was like, damn, we're actually a really good team. The next couple events, we get top 6. They weren't bad top 6s. It's just like we beat who we were supposed to, lost who we were supposed to. Like, there was no, like, we lost the Triggers now, we lost the Carbon or something like that. Like what you alluded to, the Hysteria Xbox event. We beat Status Quo round 1. We beat Carbon round 2, so that would have been top 6. So then we're playing TD for top 3.
This was so crazy. This is on Onslaught, which is like, dude, this is such bad quality. This is even worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you could probably find a better quality on like the actual series. But yeah, so pretty much it's tied. It's past the 15-minute mark, so they cap, they win. His Xbox freezes as he's jumping on the flag.
Was it Heinz or was it Hysteria?
No, it wasn't Heinz's. It wasn't Heinz's Xbox. It was Hysteria's because Hysteria was host.
Was he the host box? That's right.
Yeah,
oh my God, that's crazy. They could have avoided it. If Hysteria just lags out, Heinz can still score and win the game. But because he's host, the whole lobby crashed. That's what happened.
If it's anyone else, they just win the game. So we're sitting there, right? We got a lot of shit for this. They're like, why didn't you just let him give the win? Like, we didn't have a say. They didn't ask. We were just sitting there like, hey, what's the call? We sat there for like 20 minutes, I want to say. It felt like an eternity. They come over, and if you did have the series pulled up, they come over and tell us, and this is when Ghost, he kind of does like this. Like, they come over and tell us that it's a full read. He's just like, it's so funny watching back because I don't remember that happening. He's just like, I just want to touch on what we talked about earlier about, going into facing these roster changes and decisions. We made a couple changes. We dropped Ryan right away. We just kind of wanted, like, we know what we're getting with Ryan. I love Ryan. I still consider him a friend. We talk a lot. But we just kind of had different philosophies. Like, he has a way he wants to play and wants his team to play. And it's kind of like, that's kind of set for a team. And we kind of wanted to mix it up. Fast forward, we make the change to want to drop Rain as well. We want to pick up a duo. And when looking at that native red roster, we kind of just wanted to combine teams. And I think a lot of people probably would have said Tolic, because Tolic's always been, in my eyes, known as like the best player on that team. And the more I looked into it and the more VOD I watched, I just thought like picking up a Soul Snipe and taking Donnie Suppressed as that duo instead of like maybe like Suppressed and Tolic. Stat-wise, those are probably the two best on native red, right? So that's kind of like that decision I went into. Like, you need a player like Soul Snipe. Like, he reminds me of Ryan almost in terms of play styles, but he's just a little bit younger, a little bit more like, fresh. And that's not a knock on Ryan. Like, he's obviously still doing it. Like, he could just make a roster and get top 6. Like you know what I mean? Like, it's just what he does. So yeah, like making that roster, that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted to, have a well-rounded team, and I think we got it right now. I think we're really close to being in that top 3.
In your eyes, as a competitor, now a coach, like, I'm just curious because I've thought about this myself. Like, what is it that makes it so these top 3 teams just happen to clutch up like a little bit more than others in the moments that matter most? Is it the experience? Is it just ice? Is it them talking through a game plan a bit better, more in depth in the end game? Like, what do you think it is?
Yeah, I think all those points match up really well. Like I said earlier, those mistakes that teams like us and below make, those guys just don't make it at that top level. The games slow down so much more in tournament gameplay at LANs than even online tournaments.
Especially when you watch the top teams.
Yeah, when you watch a scrim, you'll never see Optic play a scrim like they do at a tournament. Like, they play so much more methodically at tournaments. And I think that's kind of what our team struggled with last year. We wanted to keep playing like a faster pace, and it would just get us in a hole sometimes on Strongholds and Slayer, like when things can snowball out of control. And I think with our new team, we're able to play at that faster pace, but then also recognize, all right, we got to switch it up a little bit. And I think that's what the Big 3 does so well. When it comes to LAN gameplay, the game is so much different. You just watch one gameplay from the last tournament and then go watch a complexity scrim online. It's not the same thing, or whoever's scrimming, whoever's streaming a scrim online, it's just not the same.
All right. Well, cool. Nick, thank you so much for sharing some incredible memories and the story of your Halo career throughout. It was awesome to listen to. Any final words before we split?
See everyone at HCS London, or maybe a tournament before that as well.
All right. And we'll also have Nick's socials put in the description below, so you guys can make sure to check him out on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Thanks for watching this abbreviated version of the podcast. If you'd like to see the full episode, check it out on Makowski's YouTube channel linked below. And I'll see you guys next time.